All right, time for another coronavirus sort of quarantine sample haul thingy jiggy. I'll do some fragrances today. I recently, and I'm only mentioning this because normally when people ask me how should you sample fragrances, I usually just say something like, go to Sephora, find whatever fragrances you like, get as many samples as freebies as you can, whatever. Or I think Oswald is usually good, but Oswald usually or recently raised their prices. But just saying their name, Crystal Fragrances. I got some fragrances from them and some old ones that I've smelled before just to smell again. But they actually sent me 3 free samples in my sample thingy, and they even sent me test strips. So I don't know if they're just feeling generous because of the coronavirus, but Crystal Fragrances might be my new. They might be my new recommendation for sampling some fragrances, right? So anyway, my first impressions, right? So first of all, what do we have here? First impressions, literally, I haven't even given these like a full day wearing, right? So first impression, we have Wild Cherry from Montserrat. What did I think of Wild Cherry? I think this kind of smells like a cherry bubble bath, and I'm not against cherry because I'm always looking for a good cherry fragrance, right? Nothing against bubble baths. Bubble baths. I take bubble baths. I have nothing against a bubble bath, but this kind of smells like a cherry bubble bath in a feminine kind of old kind of way. Not the kind of cherry I'm looking for. I like cherry. I like bubble baths, but not a kind of. This does smell kind of like an older lady bubble bath. Not grandma or anything, but it does smell a little bit older. Bubble bath, cherry bubble bath kind of thing. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Next one. Speaking of cherry, though, that I do like cherry, right? Finally got around to smelling Olfactive Studios Close Up. Um, I actually like this. This is good. This smells. This one. My first impression of this one kind of reminds me of a mix between CK Shock and Daniel Hoser, Joser, however you say his name, Amber Tobacco. Kind of smells a little bit like CK Shock mixed with Amber Tobacco, and I like both of those fragrances. And I do get a good amount of cherry out of this. I like this one. I'm looking forward to trying this one on skin and seeing how it performs. And I'm going to be very disappointed if I like it because then I might try to get a decant of it. But close up right now, I think smells good. I like that one. Next one, I smelled the comp. How do you even say this? I'm gonna have to look at this. What is this? The Comptoir Sud Pacifique. It's actually a fragrance brand that I've actually never got around to smelling, even though I've been in the fragrances for all these years. But I smelled Vanilla Cafe or Vanille Cafe recently, which to my knowledge is a re-release of Vanilla Mocha, just under a different name. If I'm wrong, don't shoot the messenger, for Granica lied to me. Anyway, when I first sprayed this smells exactly like something else. Something else you smell in the wild. Maybe it's a kind of coffee creamer or something, but this smells exactly like something else. It's kind of like like a plastic vanilla kind of smell. I'm not exactly sure what exactly. I smelt a little bit of coffee in this when I was first smelling this off the tester strip, but as it dried down, then it just kind of went to less um, a less strong, less harsh, maybe potentially harsh. Kind of smells a little bit like Vanilla Absolute from Montal, actually. Again, I could smell a little bit of, coffee vibe in the beginning, and at the very beginning, it actually kind of smells almost exactly like something else. But after that, it kind of smells like Montal's Vanilla Absolute almost, actually, offhand. Yeah, it kind of smells like that a little bit. It smells good, though. I would wear it, but anyway. Next one is Montserrat's Wild Candy. This one, unfortunately, when I tried this kind of smells like the bad reviews that I saw on Fragrantica. And then it smells kind of weird. It's definitely not gourmand. It smells a little bit weird, and then it kind of turns into a almost kind of a suntan lotion. I do get that. I was expecting more candy, more of a candy gourmand chocolate kind of thing. This did smell, when I first smelled this, I was like, kind of took back. This does smell a little bit weird. And then it kind of turned into like a suntan lotion, so I did get that as well. Another one I recently tried, or recently, I tried today, right from this tester strip, is Oud for Greatness. One of this fragrance has been getting a lot of hype in the community for the past year. And I said this before, I actually do like all the Initio perfumes that I've smelled, fragrances. I was very disappointed when Initio was sending all the reviewers free bottles, and Initio said they would not even send me a sample. I was very disappointed that, and they were sending free bottles to reviewers that weren't even getting more reviews than me necessarily. So I was very disappointed that other people were getting free bottles and they said they wouldn't even send me a sample. Thought that was messed up. But hey, I guess, no one deserves anything for free per se. Because I did like the fragrances. So I actually ended up getting, a decant and a split of Rehab and Side Effect. And even in this sample thing, I got another sample of Absolute Aphrodisiac because I liked how that smells. So still thinking if I want to get another one of that. And it was the other one. They had another one that I smelled that I liked as well. But anyway, Oud for Greatness. I tried this. I know this has been getting a lot of hype in the community for the past year, so I'm not super. It's not really my vibe, so I'm not really blown away by this. I can't see myself wearing this once this little sample thing is gone. It's not. It's masculine. I think. I think it's manly, yeah, but it's not necessarily sexy to me. If I was going for the vibe of a more rough kind of fragrance, and not that this is rough. This is not like a funky or kind of off-putting oud or something per se. But it is. I'm not super horny about this. Doesn't really do anything for me per se. There's too many other sexy fragrances that with a little bit of an edge that I would rather wear. So this one did nothing for me. Next one we have Vanilla Apricot from the Comptoir Pacifique, whatever, dude. I've heard some people say that this smells like Montal Sweet Vanille, which is, I've said before, Sweet Vanille and Dolce Sinfuno. They smell pretty similar, and I love those fragrances. This does smell like Montal's Sweet Vanilla. It does. I feel like it smells a little. I feel like it smells a little more tangy, a little more tart, maybe more of that apricot. But they do smell, offhand, they do smell quite similar off this tester strip. So depending on the performance, I can't imagine, because what really does, Montal, bang for your buck, great fragrances if you like how they smell. Actually, this does smell similar to Montal's Sweet Vanille. But I mean, I like that fragrance, so of course, yeah, I would wear this. And this might be the last one. Is this the last one? We have Amber Fever. I'm not super. I was hoping for something more sexy. Does that make sense? When I was looking at the notes, there was like caramel and like booze kind of thing, and this actually smells a little more fresh than I was assuming. I guess I'm getting more florals than I was hoping. I was hoping for something a little bit more dark and sexy, but um, you know, offhand, I'm not super horny about it. I'll see how it smells on skin, but offhand, I was hoping for something more sexy, and I'm not really getting a dark and kind of sexy. I'm actually getting more of a fresh kind of scent, a little fresh sweetness, more of the florals. But anyway, yeah. So that was my little sample haul of that. So probably will do one more sample thing because of this virus thing, quarantine, whatever. But yeah, I was kind of impressed. They actually, I don't think I've ever gotten samples from someone, and they actually sent tester strips with it. And, they actually gave me 3 free samples. Unfortunately, the samples they gave me are stuff I've already smelled before. But hey, free samples, I'll take it. That's pretty cool, right? So, again, normally I always say for samples, get as many from Sephora as free as you can, basically. You know what I mean? And do, Oswald used to be really good, but Oswald's raised their prices recently. So I don't know. I don't know if the Krystal fragrance person was just feeling generous or if they always give that many free samples in a sample order. But I guess I might recommend them to people now. I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they were feeling generous. I don't know. Anyway, that's a little bit of my little sample haul I did. Still got other stuff to get to. And maybe I'll do full reviews on these later. The end.